Intention Monday, unlocking success through accountability. Wow, massive topic, accountability, and it's something that I'm really resonating with right now. So this morning, driving this subject of Intention Monday, accountability. This morning, I found myself without my gym buddy who's gone on holiday for about a month. And guess what? For the last month, I've been getting up at 4:15 a.m. and in the gym for 5 a.m., having completed my workout for 6 a.m. This morning, I had a lie-in and I just got to look at, hey, you know what? Accountability certainly plays a massive role in my life. And question, does it play a role in your life? What I want to look at is how accountability can really help to drive our success. And I want to start by just looking at the ultimate concept of accountability, a very evolved perspective, a very powerful perspective of accountability. And that is from a Sanskrit word. Now, Sanskrit is the language of the ancient Eastern scriptures. The Vedas are all written in this beautiful language called Sanskrit. And Sanskrit is a very powerful language because the words inside of the Sanskrit language carry a vibration. So the words themselves can have an effect on the being. And it may just be that because I've been working on this Intention Monday this morning and talking about this to myself while I'm preparing it, is that I'm feeling myself very, very charged this morning. This word is antaryami, right? So I'm going to put it in the comments. You can have a look at it. If you're watching live or if you're watching on the replay, hashtag replay, let me know what you're taking away from this. And if you're watching live, I'd love to hear, just feel free to lean in and talk to me about what your take on accountability is and where you find it to be useful in your life. Antaryami is this concept from the Far East, and when we translate it from the Sanskrit, and of course, translating any language, something is lost in the definition. But when we translate the word antaryami roughly to English, it translates as supreme spirit pervading our inner self. So supreme spirit pervading our inner self, or inner motivator, or inner spirit. And you may not believe that there's something greater than you. You may not believe in, let's say, concepts like God, and that really, for this Intention Monday and everything that I do actually and put out publicly, it's not relevant. Where we understand that there is something that's at force, that's driving our actions and our mental state, and we really get for ourselves that there is something within us that's so powerful that when awakened, you can have this ultimate level of accountability through this antaryami, this supreme spirit, this guiding force that is indeed that, the supreme spirit that's pervading our inner self. When we're in touch with that supreme spirit and it's informing our lives and we're walking around on a day-to-day basis, continuously in touch, aligned with this inner spirit, we feel a natural level of accountability, and ultimately, I believe that we won't even need anyone else externally to us. Now, that's a very aspirational state to aim for, and that's okay, because setting a big destination for where you want to get to with your life, there's nothing wrong with that. It may even be a destination which you'll never get to, and there's nothing wrong with that. In a prior Intention Monday, I talked about the journey is more important than the destination. And certainly in this case, the journey can be incredibly transformative. Forget the destination. Even the aim for the destination has to be so great that ultimately you get to show up with this power, this energy that's driving all of your decisions, right? And it's so incredibly powerful. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. Let's really assess this. I want us to tap into this antaryami state, this end destination, where even striving to reach that, even wanting to have that, wanting to have that aspiration to touch onto something greater automatically puts you and me in the top 10% of performers. right? A lot of people that you meet, and certainly if you're a coach, your clients, like they may not be aspiring for something greater than themselves, but they're going to come into your consciousness because they want more from their lives. And as a coach or a consultant or a service provider, I'm sure that you're already naturally working on your personal development. There's no choice inside of business, which is really going to test you. You're going to have to work on all these aspects of your being. Touch onto this concept of Antaryami, which is so incredibly powerful. And I see Deji, and yes, absolutely, Deji. So there was an Intention Monday that we did, which was dedicated to just this topic, right? That the journey is more important than the destination. And isn't that incredibly powerful, right? And Katrina, yeah, totally, right? We are definitely in the top 10%. We do not stop, and we keep working on ourselves, and we keep doing the work and going to town on the work and taking it to the next level. And there is a power inside of doing that. Great to have you guys on live. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. Let me know what you're taking away from this. So what I want to really touch on now is the pitfalls of not having the accountability. So I got to see it for myself this morning, and hey, I'm always going to be the first person to put my hand up and declare when something hasn't worked for me, or there's a breakdown, or something's just fallen over. And guess what, right? This morning I had a long lie-in because no gym buddy on holiday, and I can chill out, right? Like there's no accountability there. And so I got to have this long lie-in. I got up at about 8 a.m. and very late for me, considering the last month I've woken up at around about 4 a.m. Long lie-in and strolling into the gym casually at about 8:30. And guess what? It just doesn't work ultimately. And you can see, I can see for myself that accountability, it has so much power. There's so much depth there when there's someone holding you to account saying, hey, you know what? We need to work out. We need to complete this together. We're aiming for something higher. And when you bring a group of minds together inside of a structure of accountability, what happens is an energy field is created. There is a power that's created. There is an ultimate force that's created when two or more minds come together and they're working towards a common vision. This is why in business as well, team is so important. And there are so many leadership coaches, executive coaches out there, and what they're looking to do is they're looking to align team. And they work and they get to charge the biggest rates because when they can work with people at that level, an aligned team, the organization has a massive shift, and the organization has a massive shift because the people at the top are holding themselves accountable to a very high standard. And that's why executive coaches work. So if you're an executive coach and you're not charging anywhere near what you should be, hey, guess what? You make a massive shift. Executive coaches, leadership coaches, coaches at that level, through my research, and it's extensive because I work on pricing and packaging through selling and alignment, is I get to see that leadership coaches, executive coaches, they charge the most money. And if you're one of those and you're not charging your worth, or you're not charging the rate that you should be worth, you know what? You want to look at that and drop me a DM, right? Let's see how we can work together and how I can hold you accountable to a higher standard. So that's the idea there. So let's create structures. What can you put in place is my question to you on this Intention Monday. What can you really put in place to hold yourself accountable to that higher standard? Is it like I have a gym buddy? Is it a coach? Is it a mentor? Is it just a group of friends who are going to be completely dedicated, unmessable to holding you to this higher standard of what I call the black belt mindset? Is it going to be a group of people that are just focused, like it's intentional? There's a certain time for meeting every day and you set up your actions. And I'm really fortunate to be part of one of these groups, and more than one of these groups, because I also have a gym buddy as well. So here's a question for you. Let me know in the comments, what can you take away from this? What are you putting in place to hold yourself to a higher standard? Let's really take that energy up and let's be super intentional this week around what we want to achieve. So what I'm putting in place for myself this week is I'm holding myself accountable here on a public platform to say that I'm going to be dedicated to doing a certain number of hours of work this week, focused, dedicated time, 2 to 3 hours of work in the business, and then an hour of work on the business. And I'm also going to level up my game around nutrition and food as well. I'm going to eat clean, right? So I'm really going to fuel my body from all of these different perspectives with everything it needs to be super successful. Thank you very much for tuning in on Intention Monday. Until the next time, keep selling in alignment.